So, hello everyone. The next topic which we will be discussing is about the alimentary canal. So, what do you understand by the term alimentary canal? Alimentary canal is nothing but mainly refer to the pathway by which food enters our body and moves out through the anus after the digestion. So, alimentary canal is just a tube-like structure which starts from the mouth and ends in the anus. So, alimentary canal, they play a very primary role in the human digestion, and it's also termed as the digestive tract. Now, so we have discussed this, that they play a major role in the digestion, human digestion, and is also termed as the digestive tract. Now, there are few organs of the alimentary canal that plays a major role in the process of the digestion. Now, what are these? Mouth and the oral cavity, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, and large intestine. So these are all the organs of the alimentary canal. So what we will do is we will be discussing each of these organs in detail. So first we will start with the mouth and the oral cavity. So this diagram is showing all the organs of the alimentary canal. It starts with the mouth, which has tongue, then pharynx, then there is a esophagus which is there, then liver, stomach. There is a gallbladder and pancreas which also plays a major role in the process of the digestion. They release certain, for example, the pancreas, they release the insulin, and liver, it releases the bile juice for the digestion of the fats and the carbohydrates. Then the large intestine and the small intestine. So these are the organs of the alimentary canal. Now first we will discuss is about the mouth. So mouth, which is also referred to as the oral cavity or the buccal cavity. So it has been the first place where the food is ingested. So the food is being ingested through the mouth. So mouth, it is considered as the first part of our digestive system. Next is oral cavity. So the oral cavity comprises of three parts here: palate, tongue, and the teeth. So palate, that is the roof of the oral cavity. So it is the roof of the oral cavity. Then comes the tongue, muscular and glandular structure that is attached to the base of the oral cavity. So we have seen in the previous diagram as well that tongue was being labeled as the part of the alimentary canal. So the upper surface of the tongue, they have a very tiny projections that is called as lingual villi, and they are being further divided into three parts, and these are the three parts of the tongue. Next is teeth. So teeth, what is the main function of the teeth? So the main function of the teeth is the food that is being eaten by the humans or by us, they reduce food, they reduce the solids to smaller particles for swallowing. That will help in the physical breakdown of the food. So teeth can be of four types. So the humans, they are Phyodont, that is, they have two sets of teeth, that is milk, deciduous, and the permanent teeth. So these are the two sets of teeth. Now there are further being divided into four types of teeth, that is incisors. The function of incisors here is used for the cutting of the food. Canines, that is used for the tearing. premolars that is used for the chopping, and molars that is used for the grinding and the chewing. So these are the important functions of the teeth. Now, if we talk about how many permanent teeth does a human have, so an adult human has 32 permanent teeth, which are of four different types that we have named already, that are incisors, molars, premolars, and canines. So arrangement of teeth in each half of the upper and the lower jaw is in the order I, C, P, M and M. So what are these? I stands for incisors, C stands for canine, PM stands for premolar, and M stands for the molar. So it is being represented by the dental formula, which is in humans is 2123 by 2123. So this is about the teeth part. Next comes is the pharynx. So pharynx is nothing but it is a common passage for food and air. There is the epiglottis, which was being represented in the figure as well. That what it does, it prevents the entry of food into the windpipe. So this is the main function of pharynx here. So when the food is being swallowed, it passes from the mouth into the pharynx, which is a funnel shaped tube that extends from the internal to the esophagus. It acts as a common passage for both the digestive system as well as the respiratory system. That is why the role of epiglottis comes in, so that it will prevent the food from going into the windpipe. So this is all about the pharynx part. Next is the esophagus. So esophagus, which is also called as the food pipe. What is it? It is a muscular tube which is approximately 25 centimeters long. So in esophagus, there is a gastroesophageal sphincter which controls the movement of the food in the stomach. So esophagus, they play no role in the chemical digestion of the food. It just provides a passage so that the food can get into the stomach. Its sole role, its sole purpose is to conduct the food bolus from the mouth to the stomach. So it provides a peristaltic wave which pushes the bolus from the beginning to the end of the esophagus. So there is a movement in the esophagus which helps the food to get down to the stomach. So this is the main role of esophagus or the food pipe. Next comes is the stomach. So as you can see, the stomach, which is being represented here, is nothing but a sac like organ which is located between the esophagus and the small intestine. So this is the esophagus, and after this is there is a small intestine and large intestine which is being there. Its function are to store, dissolve and partially digest the food particles, and to regulate the rate at which stomach's contents released into the small intestine. So the wall of the stomach, they have deep folds. So you can see in the figure as well that the walls of the stomach, they have deep folds. So the muscular wall of the stomach churns and mix the food with the gastric juice. Now the stomach has been divided further into the four parts. So cardiac, fundus, body and pyloric portion. So these are the four parts in which the stomach has been divided. Cardiac. Cardiac is nothing but the upper part of the stomach into which the esophagus opens. So this is the part in which the esophagus opens. It is present close to the heart, and the opening of the esophagus to the stomach is regulated by the gastroesophageal sphincter. So this is the main function here. Next comes is the fundus. So it is a dome shaped and it's usually filled with air. So it is nothing but a dome shaped thing which is usually filled with the air. Next is the body, and this is the main part of the stomach. The body, it is the main part of the stomach. And the last, pyloric portion, what it is, it opens in the first of the small intestine, duodenum. So duodenum is nothing but the first entry part of the small intestine. The opening of the stomach into the small intestine, it is being regulated by this pyloritic sphincter. So this is being labeled here as well. So this is the sphincter which has been labeled here. The opening of the stomach into the small intestine is being regulated by this part. So this was about the stomach. Body is being represented, fundic portion is being represented, cardiac region is being represented, and pyloric region is also being represented here. So all the parts of the stomach are represented in the given figure. Next comes is the small intestine. So small intestine, it is the longest part of the alimentary canal and comprises of further 3 parts. So the small intestine comprises further of 3 parts. So first we will discuss that small intestine. It is the site where most digestion and absorption takes place. So it is the site where the absorption and digestion takes place. No further digestion is accomplished after the luminal contents pass from beyond the small intestine. The small intestine, it is one of the longest in length in the body, human body. But why it is named as small intestine? The small intestine is named as this because of its small diameter. The small intestine averages about 6 meters in length, that is compared to the large intestine which is only about 1.5 meters in length. The regions of the small intestine includes the duodenum, jejunum and ileum. So the first part of the small intestine is the duodenum. Ducts from the liver and the pancreas, they join form one duct called the hepatopancreatic duct that enters the duodenum. The small intestine receives bile from the liver and pancreatic juices from the pancreas via a duct. Now duodenum, it is, as it has been shown here as well, that it is nothing but a C-shaped. It is C-shaped and the pancreatic bile and hepatic secretions are added to the food by the hepatopancreatic duct. So this is the duodenum. Next is the jejunum. What is it? It is the middle part of the small intestine. It is nothing but the middle part of the small intestine. Next come the ileum, that is displayed here. So it is highly coiled and opens into the large intestine. It is highly coiled structure and it opens in the large intestine. The last part of the alimentary canal, which is the large intestine. So large intestine. So small intestine leads into the large intestine, and this intestine is larger in diameter as compared to the small intestine, but it is shorter in length as compared to the small intestine. Its mucosal epithelium, they contains mostly absorbative and globulate cells. The large intestine, it does not produce any of the digestive enzyme. It only absorbs water, salts and some vitamins. It also stores indigestible material until it is being eliminated from the anus. Now it has been further divided into 3 parts: caesium, colon and rectum. So these are being represented here. Colon, there are there are been colons which are being further divided as ascending, descending, and sigmoid column, cesium and rectum. So last part is the rectum. So what are the functions of these? Cesium is nothing but it is a small sac-like structure that is containing symbiotic microorganisms. The vermiform appendix is attached to it. So the vermiform appendix has been attached to this. So it has been displayed in the figure as well, that appendix has been attached to it. Colon, it has been divided further into 4 regions, as we can see here also. There is a transverse, ascending, sigmoid and descending colon. Rectum, it opens into the anus. So this is about the large intestine and its various parts, and this has been represented in the diagrammatic representation to understand the figure better. Now these are some of the references. Thank you.